On a warm Saturday night in August 1997, Sarah Jenks finished her late shift at Benny's Diner in Missoula. She clocked out at 10:17 p.m., waved goodbye to coworkers, and headed to her car parked around the back. She never made it home. Her roommate reported her missing the next morning when Sarah failed to return and missed their planned brunch. Police found Sarah's car still in the lot. Her purse was inside, doors locked. No signs of a struggle, just an abandoned vehicle and a missing woman. Sarah was responsible and cautious. She didn't drink, rarely dated, and worked long hours to save for nursing school. Investigators quickly ruled out robbery. Coworkers reported a few strange customers that night. One in particular stood out, a man in his mid-30s sitting alone staring at Sarah for hours. He left without ordering food. Nobody knew his name. Surveillance systems at the diner didn't cover the back lot. Witnesses claimed they saw an older pickup truck parked near Sarah's car shortly before closing, but no license plate was recorded. Despite extensive searches and local media attention, no trace of Sarah was found. No body, no suspects, no progress. The case went cold. In 2018, a new cold case unit reopened Sarah's file. They re-examined a piece of evidence initially dismissed, a cigarette butt found near Sarah's car. Back in 1997, DNA testing wasn't what it is today, and it hadn't yielded any useful results. Now, using modern forensic genealogy, investigators submitted the DNA to a private database. After months of analysis, they got a familial match. It pointed to a man named Kenneth Dwyer, a now 59-year-old retired trucker living in Idaho. He had never been arrested and had no known connection to Sarah at first glance. Digging deeper, police found that Kenneth had worked seasonal construction in Missoula in the summer of 1997, within walking distance of Benny's Diner. He had also owned a green 1984 Ford pickup, matching the vehicle seen the night of Sarah's disappearance. Police obtained a warrant and collected a fresh DNA sample from Kenneth. It matched the cigarette at the scene. When brought in for questioning, Kenneth denied ever knowing Sarah. But confronted with DNA evidence and records proving his presence in Missoula that summer, his story began to unravel. Kenneth eventually confessed to abducting Sarah in a fit of rage. He claimed he had asked her out at the diner and she had laughed and brushed him off. In his version, he snapped. He waited for her to walk to her car, then approached with a tire iron in hand, forced her into his truck, and drove her into the hills outside town. There, according to his own words, he didn't plan to kill her, but didn't know what else to do. He strangled her and buried her near an old mining trail. His confession led police to a shallow grave site in the Lolo National Forest, where they recovered partial remains, later confirmed through dental records and a locket found with the body. The trial in 2020 reopened old wounds in Missoula. Sarah's case had haunted the community for decades. Kenneth Dwyer pleaded guilty to second-degree murder as part of a deal to avoid the death penalty. The judge called it a crime of cruelty, cowardice, and decades of silence. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with no possibility of parole for at least 30. At the sentencing, Sarah's sister read a letter Sarah had written just weeks before her death, about her hopes for the future and starting a life in Seattle. "You didn't just take her life," she said to Kenneth in court. "You stole her dreams.